Dear Lord, I come to you today because I really, really need you. My life, it's all over the place. I don't know what to do. I come to you, Lord. Please show me a sign, any sign, to give me the strength to keep going. Please, Lord. What happened? Wait, I know that smell. My cross. Is this what I think it is? Oh my God, thank you, Lord. This is exactly what I needed. Thank you for answering my prayers. This is definitely going to take all the stress off my shoulders. Thank you, Lord. Hey, what is going on, man? We are back with another project. And as you just saw right there, God just gifted me with a very special gift to help me get through these stressful days. So with most of my projects, I usually start off with one base, but with this one, we're starting off with two. Okay, so obviously God didn't actually gift me this cross, right? But he did gift me the ability of rolling. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you here today, in the name of the Lord. Okay, so to start off, we're going to get the slightly longer base and then seal off both ends to make sure it is completely airtight. So by using some extra little strips of paper, some glue, we can go ahead and do just that. Now I know that some people actually roll without any filters. As you can see, I have a filter at the end of this one. That's completely up to you how you want to do this. Obviously, it's going to save you an entire step. I have to take my filter out, close it up, seal it up like I did the top, but if that's how you roll, that's how I roll. No biggie, just an extra step. Okay, so now that we got both ends sealed up and good to go, we can go ahead and head on to the smaller base and do the exact same thing that we did to the first base. And then once you sealed up both of the ends, we get to move on to the next part. Alright, so now that we got both of these bad boys sealed up and good to go, the next part is squishing these bad boys down. Now don't go all crazy on them, you don't want to flatten them out like a pancake, but you definitely want to get them to lose their original circular shape and get that nice, flat-sided, maybe like a flatbread. Ooh, I haven't even blazed these yet and I'm already getting hungry. Okay, so with our first base, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be cutting out a bow shape from end to end. And then after doing that, what we're going to be left with is this arc. Okay, and we're going to want to actually cover this up before we actually proceed to the next side. And then to do that, all we're going to do is use some glue and some strips of paper to cover it all up. And then once all that's covered up, we can go ahead and proceed to do the exact same thing to the other side. Alright, and after we've done both of those sides, you can see we're kind of left with this like bone-like structure, as you can see here. But yeah, that's what we're going for. And now we're going to be going ahead and proceed with the other base, the little small one, that we're going to be sticking through the middle of the first base. But we'll get into that in a little bit. So just like we did with the first base, we're going to be doing the exact same thing with this one and cutting out those little bow-like shapes to make this little bone-like structure. Okay, and now that we got both of them good to go, if we put one over the other, you can kind of see that we have this little cross-looking shape that we're trying to go for. Okay, so when it comes to making these cross joints, typically you obviously have two cylindrical type joints, right? You can kind of just stick one right through the other. But with this one, you can actually see that the bottom right here, it's a lot thicker. So putting this one through like a traditional cross joint isn't going to be an option because it's going to leave a hole way too large because you're going to have to leave it in the middle where it's a lot skinnier. Okay, so knowing that we can't approach this like a traditional cross joint, what we're going to be doing is actually cutting out a little bit of a hole or a slot, whatever you want to call it, on the bigger base, kind of exactly where we would put, the regular cross joint, right? And then hollowing that out, but making sure to not cut all the way through to the bottom. You want to make sure you leave that little bottom paper still intact. Okay, so now before we go ahead and slide the small base into the larger base, you're going to want to make sure you put holes on both the top and the bottom of the middle of that base, as you can see here. And if you're attempting to roll this one yourself, this is a very crucial step because if you don't do that, then there's going to be no airflow and no one's going to have a good time. After that, all you got to do is seal it up with some paper and glue guard, make sure everything's completely airtight, and then we're good to go to head to the next step, color. Okay, so now when coloring this, I decided to go for a natural kind of golden cross. You can do whatever color you want. You don't even have to add color. I think it looks pretty cool like this. But you know, just go the extra little step with the yellow, or actually orange Juicy J papers, but they look yellow enough to me, and so that's what we went with. And of course, as you can see, the process of cutting out each little orange, pasting it on, is very tedious. So if you want to do this, it's completely up to you. It does take the longest out of the entire roll. I know it's crazy. But if you didn't want to save some time, you could just go get like shine papers, which are like all gold papers, and it would be a whole lot easier. But you know, that's very expensive. I didn't want to go down that route. I had these, you know, orange papers lying around. They look yellow to me, so that's what I went with. Okay, so now everything's all colored, good to go. We can go ahead and end it off with obviously adding our tip. You can't, you know, be functional without one of these bad boys. So go ahead and add it towards the bottom, which is typically where you would have your tip anyways, but it makes the most sense because I'm gonna want to put a little hook on the top so that we can actually kind of use this as a, you know, necklace type thing. And to make this little loop ring to, you know, put the chain through, we're going to be using this hemp wick. Okay, so everything here is technically smokable. All right, we're going to be using this hemp wick, making a little loop, and then kind of sticking it towards the top, sealing it up, and after that we should be pretty much good to go. So whether you're following along or not, this is pretty much the final product. So now I'm going to go and put it on a chain and see how it looks. Let's go. Hey, just want to say thank you guys so much. You guys stuck around to the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Just kind of want to take the traditional cross joint to a whole new level. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is a fun little project. I think it's easy. It's not a hard roll to do at all. So if somebody wants to kind of follow along, this is probably the one that I would recommend. But yeah, man, really hope you guys enjoyed it. Other than that, man, stay sexy, stay puffin'. Love y'all. Deuces.